channel. So it's Saturday morning, 7 AM, just gone, 7:03, and we are on a little road trip today. We are off to my friend Dan's house, and we are going to be doing a engine swap on his DeLorean. So this should be an interesting one, guys. As you know, I own a DeLorean as well, and I've known Dan for probably around 12-13 years now, and this is his second car that he's had. So obviously when we get there, we've got a little bit of a drive, about an hour away. We'll get down there, I'll quickly show you around the car, and then we'll get cracking on the old engine swap. Now, the car itself is running, and was running, no problem at all. But Dan had a gearbox leak on his car, and decided to take the engine out and rebuild it at the same time. It never quite got there. So about 2 years ago, we put a temporary engine in, which was a 2.7 out of a Renault. Same engine as what was in the DeLorean originally, but the Renault variant. And he always wanted to put a 2.8 back in it, which is what it would have had from new. But we're actually putting in the Volvo variant of the 2.8, which has got about 30 brake horsepower more than the original DeLorean one. So hopefully it should give him a nice bit of hope when he's putting his right foot down, and should make him happy, hopefully. So let's get down there, and I'll cut back in when we get there. I won't bore you with the journey because it's a little bit of a tedious journey, so we'll see you in a bit. Okay, Dan's garage. He's just as sad as me, he's got a three-wheel van as well. There's the DeLorean in question, which we're going to be mutilating today, but hopefully not. And this is an electric. He don't want to be on camera, there he is. Say hello. Don't sound like James May. Hello. This is a Regal van, the same as mine, but this one is electric at the moment, but it's going to be converted back to petrol, probably by us, I would have thought, wouldn't it? So that'd be interesting.
That'd be a future video.
Future video, yeah, that's right. Right, let's crack on. This is the final start up with the 2.7 lump in, hopefully. Just going to get it in the middle of the garage. And it's got the club exhaust on this, which is why it sounds a bit more fruity. Okay, so this that was a 2.7 engine running there. This engine was a complete unknown when we put it in, and it actually made it all the way to Hamburg and back when we did a road trip in 2019. So it's a well-proven engine now. Dan's a bit mad to change it really, but there we go. There we go, something up. So the first job we've got to do is get the rear fascia off and the louvers off, and then we can get the exhaust manifold off and start stripping it all down. Let's crack on. Rightio. Fascia's off the back. Pretty painless. So now we're on to the removing the exhaust. Got to take the back box off first, which is joined in there, and the side pipes, and then we can get the manifolds off and then carry on going. Let's crack on. Okay, I actually hit the button for time lapse there, but didn't hit the button, if that makes sense. So we've got the exhaust off there. That's the main silencer. They're the two exhaust manifolds, all stainless steel, really nice stuff. So that's where we're on now. So we've got a nice bare engine block to get around now. Next thing I would say is probably going to be, what do you reckon, Dan? Cooling lines?
Yeah, get the coolant drained, get the wiring disconnected, fuel lines off.
And get the crane in and see what happens. Lovely, let's carry on. Okay, I know there's a lot of time lapse in this video, but obviously it's quite difficult to show you what we're doing, but basically we've got all the electrical connections disconnected from now. We've got the two coolant pipes at the front, this one and this one disconnected. We've also got the vacuum lines. That is a vacuum line, isn't it?
That's a coolant one, that.
Coolant line there, which goes to the bottle here. We've got the heater lines down here, which are disconnected on this valve. You can't really see it, but there's a valve in there. Plastic valve, just about to see that. There we go. That's disconnected.
Vacuum lines off.
Got a vacuum line there.
We've got the fuel lines to disconnect.
Got two fuel lines to come off, haven't we? Yeah.
Flow and return from the tank.
We've got these vacuum lines disconnected here. So we've basically got these two fuel lines left to take off, and the starter motor, which is down there in the depths. I'll show you under there. That's in there, the starter motor. Once that's off, we can actually then start unbolting the gearbox and hopefully get this big lump out. Top banana.
That side.
Right, I've done doing this bit live. We are at the point where the engine's actually going to come out, so I thought you might want to see that rather than on time lapse. We've got one bolt on the gearbox, which Dan's just twiddling out now with his fingers, and then we should be good to go. Fingers crossed, it's all right.
Right, gearbox bolt out.
You want me to pump and you watch?
I shouldn't need to pump any more for the moment.
Okay, we're just going to come backwards.
Should come backwards, I think, unless we've missed something.
Just want to give it a little
Just
twist.
ease it back then, yeah.
One little pipe we missed off, so just getting that off. All pulling over the floor, and then we should be there.
Right. Get that crane back a little bit, mate.
Back, yeah.
Oh.
Definitely bring it out. Want to come up?
Let me just check if we've got enough. Yeah, I think so. I think we can come up now.
Roll the car out here?
Yeah.
Right, you can't roll the car out, Jack's under it. Jack's under the gear.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I can do then,
We'll have enough room to get it out.
I'll just tie the gearbox up or something.
Yeah, put a block of wood or something. Wedge a block of wood. If you jack it up slightly, and wedge a block of wood in between the chassis and the back gearbox, it'll hold it. That's what I did on mine, like a flat piece of wood.
Oh, okay. That should work, shouldn't it?
Let me start, hold that a sec.
Right.
There we go.
Do you want to lower it down there, just in case anything gives way on these straps?
One sec. Yeah. Do you want to keep it up in there, don't you?
I do, but just for now, just in case it goes while we're messing around with the other bits. update at the moment. Alright, get that gearbox ready.
And that is how you do that. Take you out and give you a quick look. What's the time? How long have we been doing this, Dan? 11:22. We started this at about 8:30 this morning. So what's that? 8, 9, 10, 11. Just under 3 hours. That ain't bad going. To get the DeLorean engine out.
I think it'll take a bit longer to put the other one in.
Yeah, but at least we're doing all right though. Yeah, we're on course. If we can get the new engine back in the hole today, that's the aim. Not necessarily running, but just back in. You can see in there, Dan's chassis is in lovely condition.
Needs a bit of a clean.
I'm sure you'll be there in a minute with a rag.
Get the toothbrush out on it.
Get the toothbrush out, yeah. He's already had this apart, as I said earlier, so gearbox is all nice and clean. Already inside that bell housing is pretty good. It's just some antifreeze that's dripped in there. And then obviously on the chassis where we've took it off and it's all just dripped everywhere. But lovely clean original engine bay, really good. And obviously Dan being Dan, he's spent the last, how long, 2 weeks cleaning that other engine up?
Yeah, and still more to go.
Two weeks cleaning up the other engine, which is over there. On the floor there.
Still more to go on that though, because it's cleaning up all day.
But there's more cleaning to go. But you can do that in the car, are you?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I can probably do the rest of it in the car.
So yeah. Right, so we're going to get set up.
Bit of a
clean up and then we can start looking at the other engine. Start swapping bits over off of this one onto the other one. Let's carry on. So we've got that's the 2.7 sump and the oil pan, inner oil pan if you like, and also the oil pickup under there, removed. And we've got where's the other sandwich plate then?
Oh, is that it?
Oh yeah, that's the sandwich plate that we've removed off of that one. Now this is DeLorean specific, which is why we've had to remove that one.
Compare it with this one.
Yeah, do a little comparison here so we can see both. Which way around are they? They don't look massively different, but there are differences.
The engine mounts are further forward.
Oh yeah, the engine mounts is the main thing.
That's
yeah, of course. Difference. Yeah. So we're going to put the old sandwich plate back on the engine for now. And who obviously ever takes the engine over next time, which will probably be another DeLorean owner, they'll just have to put their own sandwich plate on it to get it to fit in the car. So that's the reason for taking that off. We have looked inside the engine and this engine had a lot of sludge in it when Dan first got it, which he was a bit worried about. But where's that light, Dan? Got it there? There you go. That's it. You can see there now. It's lovely and clean in there. Sorry about the tram lines on the light. It's an LED light. So yeah, that is going to be a good engine for someone. I mean, it's been to Hamburg and back now, and it's a proven engine, so there's nothing wrong with it as such. It's just the fact that we want to get a 2.8 back in here rather than 2.7. That's the only reason we're changing it. So lovely. We're going to carry on. We're going to put the old sandwich plate back on here that we're obviously not using, and then this engine can be then put down at the back of the garage, and we can get the new one out and start swapping all the bits over. Let's carry on. Rightio. This is the new engine that we are, Dan's in the process of cleaning up, and first job is to get this rear cover off, which is where the rear main seal sits in the middle of there. There is also another gasket that sits around this housing, which we need to, we don't need to change it, but we're going to change it just because it's best practice to while it's all out. So I'm just going to buzz this off now and we'll get that changed out. A little bit of seal at both sides of the gasket, more than likely I would have thought, Dan, isn't it?
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's likely to leak in, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of seal either side of the gasket.
Use new oil seal in there.
We put a new rear main, as Dan just said, rear main seal, that red bit. Is it red?
Yeah.
It's like a funny colour, that one, but the new one's red.
The new one's black, actually.
Is the new one black? Oh, right. Okay. And once we've got that on, then we can get the freshly cleaned sandwich plate. It's all nice and clean and shiny, both sides. We can get that fitted on the bottom of the engine, and then we can start putting all the other bits and bobs back on. So we are making good progress. Let's keep the camera. See you in a minute. Okay, got that housing off. Obviously you can see the rear main seal better there. That's the seal that probably is most leaky on a DeLorean, and obviously it's a pain to get to because you have to take the gearbox out to get it off. So, and there's an extra gasket which runs around here. That is actually stuck. You can see it's coming off in one piece. That's handy. Look at that then, all in one piece.
Oh, brilliant.
So all we need to do is give this a quick clean up, give that a quick clean up. New gasket, sealer both sides, and then we can put the new rear main in once that's back on. Top banana. This is the new rear main seal going in. We're using the old one to tap against, just so it obviously doesn't damage the new one, and it goes in hopefully fairly evenly. That housing's now all sealed on with a new gasket and sealer both sides. This is a bit tricky to get this in here though.
It's gone in slightly. It's not sticking. Yeah, it's gone at a slight angle.
And if you tap the side that's up.
Try it now.
Oh, there we go.
Right, take two.
Take two. I'm going to try and get it in obviously square because of obvious reasons, trying to distort the seal because it won't seal. Getting it started seems to be the hardest bit, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically we're going to carry on like this until it's seated all the way home, and then we'll carry on. Right, this is the old engine again, and we need to get this pilot bearing for the clutch out of the middle of the crank. Now it is fairly tight in there, and obviously we don't want to damage it getting it out. So we're going to try a little technique which I'm hoping is going to work. We will see what happens. Basically we're going to pack the centre full of grease so you can't get any more in, and the theory is you then use something that is exactly the same size as the centre hole, put it in and hammer it, and the force of the grease will push the bearing out without damaging it. That's the theory anyway. Whether it works we are about to find out, because I've not done this before and I might look a total prize idiot in a minute, but we'll see. So I've just filled this socket full of grease as well, because that obviously needs to be full so it don't go anywhere. And I get my hammer. Do you want to just steady this engine down for us?
Yeah.
We'll see if this works.
It's not going to damage the middle of the bearing, is it?
No, because it's slightly smaller. Should. Alright.
Yeah.
Need some more grease, hang on. Stay there a minute. Obviously you've got to pack it so that it goes literally everywhere inside it. Can't go anywhere else.
Sure that lip on that socket isn't hitting the centre of the bearing?
I think it is before the grease is doing anything, if I'm honest.
Might be a slightly bigger socket.
Yeah, do you want to get an Imperial one that side, like a slightly bigger Imperial one?
What size is that?
That's a little mil. Unless you've got a piece of metal rod that's the same size as the middle of that.
Oh, let's have a quick look.
Oh, that looks good. See if that fits the right size.
That might do it, yeah.
Might do it. Give it a try.
Yeah. That's it. Bearing's moved.
Yep, it's working. Right, hang on a sec, let's do it again. Need a bit more.
Oh, I still can't get it in my finger.
Bit more grease in there. This is a little top tip for you guys at home if this works. If you can't get something out, pack it full of grease and do what we're doing with this metal rod or something that will fill the hole and hammer. And hopefully it's a good way of getting it out without damaging anything, because obviously we need to save this bearing. And
you just like making a mess, don't you?
Well, I like making a mess, yeah, of course I do, especially in your garage. Dan likes his garage really tidy, unlike mine.
Yeah, it's not tidy at the moment.
But if we get the end result, we'll have a...
I reckon I can probably grab that now.
There we go.
How about that?
Like that.
That is the way to do it. Obviously we use a little bit of grease, but we can put that back in the pot as it's still clean, so. Lovely jubbly, hell yeah. Rightio, we've had a massive clear up in the garage. We've now got the new engine out in the main part of the garage. The old one is over there on this trolley. We've got the front crank case removed. And we're now going to fit the new sandwich plate which goes on here. So that's going to be the next job. Once we've got the sandwich plate on, we can get the inner oil pan in and the oil pickup in, and then possibly the sump, and then we can put the new front crankcase, turn the engine up the right way, put the new front crankcase on and the new rocker covers on with all new gaskets. And then we should be somewhere near having a sealed up engine with any luck. So we are doing all right today. Been a long day so far, but we're doing well. Good progress. Yeah, we're going to carry on. See you in a minute. This is mega organised down here. Look, he's got all the bolts and nuts cleaned, and all the oil pan and pickup cleaned. So that's lovely. So we've got, where are we? These bolts, nuts here go into the main bearing caps on these studs. There's 8 of them, and the rest of these bolts here go into this, either into this oil pan here or to hold the sandwich plate itself on through some of the holes in the middle there. We've got new seals for the oil pickup. That's the spacer for the oil pickup, and that should be everything we need to button the bottom of this engine back up. And then obviously once all this is on, then we can put the sump on. So we'll crack on with that. Okay, you would have seen now us doing up and undoing things. That was the torque setting, what they tell you to do in the Haynes manual, the order rather I should say. So you have to do them all up on the main bearing nuts up to 30 newton meters, then slacken them off, then do them up to 35 newton meters in a certain order which it states in the book, and then go an extra 75 degrees on each one. So that's exactly what we've done there. So they are now all torqued to spec, and we can carry on going.
Tighten them up using the old angle gauge.
Can't see it. There you go. That's it. That's the angle gauge we was using. Obviously we used that after we used the torque wrench, just so we could get a bang on accurate 75 degrees. So should be spot on as per Haynes manual anyway. Lovely jubbly. Okay, we are still progressing. The sump is now on, as you would have seen in that time lapse. Dan's just cleaning up the front crankcase, and I am just about to put that flywheel back on the rear there, and then we can get the clutch fitted. And once we've refitted the front crankcase, in theory, the engine can go in as it is, and then we can build up the rest of it back in the car, which obviously will be easier because we can take it off of one engine and put it straight on the other, and there won't be anything getting lost or anything like that, and obviously there's left bits everywhere then as well. So that's the plan of attack. We'll carry on going, and I'll cut in and out as we progress on. Rightio, as you would have seen from that bit of time lapse, the clutch and flywheel is now on, and we've now spun the engine round so we can put on the front crankcase again. Now all the internals on this engine look to be in great order. I think the car had come out of, how many miles had it done, Dan? 130?
Yeah, I think so.
About 130,000 miles, which for a Volvo is ridiculously low. Yeah, it's such low mileage for a Volvo engine, and the car had very, very good service history up to the point where unfortunately it had a bit of an engine fire, believe it or not, but it didn't damage the actual engine internals, it only melted everything on the outside. So it is a very well looked after engine, and everything has come undone really easily, and everything inside has looked in really good condition. So I think we're good to go on that side of things. So we're going to get this front crankcase in, and then we can think about getting this put back in the car. Lovely jubbly. So there we are, front crankcase is now on, torqued up to 15 Newton meters as per spec. I think we're getting ready to put this in there.
Not far off, are we?
I think we're going to be...
We need to put the lifting eyes on so we can attach it to the crane.
Oh yeah, lifting eyes on the top of the engine there. They go on the rockers or they go on the actual...
No, they go on the cylinder heads.
They go on the cylinder heads, okay, so we've got to put them on. Then we can get some straps on it, and then we can get it hopefully craned up and back in the car where it needs to be. We had a bit of a mad panic there, guys. You can see the keyway on the top of the crank there, and we didn't know where the key had gone. And we thought, don't tell us it's fallen in the bottom of the engine and we have to take the sump back off again. Thank God Dan found it in the old front crankcase over there on the floor. It was in that crankcase in amongst all the muck. So just be careful if you ever do this. Make sure that the key is out of the keyway so you don't lose it or drop it in the bottom of the engine. So now we've got to get that in and get the new front crank seal in.
New seal to go in.
So that obviously that doesn't leak any oil.
That'll go in there.
But we've got to put the woodruff key in first.
That is true.
So we'll do that now. Rightio, we have got the front crankcase now on, the front pulley is on with the woodruff key. The rocker covers are on just temporary at the moment because we need to set the tappets up once it's obviously in. And the engine mounts are back on this engine. So we're going to put this engine in like this because obviously it's a lot easier to manhandle it in and get everything to slot into the right place with it without everything on top of it, all the inlet and whatever else. Yeah, you've got a new clutch on that side, and obviously, well, not a new clutch, but it was a new clutch before, fitted back on the flywheel. We put new covers on the ends here on both sides because they were a bit manky. So I'll keep it rolling, and we should hopefully get this in the car. Just put you a bit higher up so you can see what's going on. Like that. Right, should we go for it?
Yeah, why not?
Dan's just doing up the two top gearbox bolts just to pull the...
Should pull the bell housing into the block.
Yeah.
The last couple of mil.
It's got two dowel pins which it goes onto. Obviously they do get a little bit sticky, so it's very going on very easy, and the bolts are just helping to pull that together. So
yeah, I'm really not putting much force on these as well.
No.
Or like on the bottom end of the gearbox. Oh, we've got a bit more of a gap at the bottom end.
Is it because it's on the
I think we get the bolts in.
Because it's on the engine hoist holding it up.
Possibly. Yeah.
Right, well, I'll cut out there and we'll cut back in once it's actually landed as such, because we are in there as you can see, so it's all good. Right then, the engine's in. What's the time, Dan?
No idea.
Well, we don't know what the time is, but look, it's getting dark out there, so that's how long we've been in this garage for today. Probably about
9:30.
9:30, there you go. We've been in the garage 13 hours today, pretty much exactly. But the engine is in. That was the target for today. So we've reached our goal. And remember what I said before that Dan reminded me of, always end on a high. Going well, you've got it all in, go away, have a nice sleep, cup of coffee, come back refreshed. Then it works. So, next episode we'll be getting everything buttoned up. Inlet, electrics, water, exhaust, and then fingers crossed we can do a first start. Just want to say a massive thanks to everyone who's watching the channel. Give us a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe and hit that notification bell, that'd be great. Really appreciate that, thank you. We'll see you all soon guys. Cheers.